The Cannes Film Festival has always been known as the stage for glamour, elegance, and cinematic triumphs. But this year, amid the flash of cameras and the shimmer of gowns, it became the setting of a shocking encounter that no one could have predicted. At the center of it all was Yaman, the internationally beloved Turkish actor whose career has reached extraordinary heights over the past few years. Cannes was supposed to be yet another feather in his cap, a place where he would mingle with directors, producers, and fellow stars, promoting new opportunities and showcasing the global power of Turkish talent. Instead, it turned into the scene of an emotional storm when he came face to face with his ex-girlfriend in a moment that left the entire festival buzzing. Witnesses described the atmosphere as electric, almost cinematic, as if a scene from one of Cannes' dramas had spilled into real life. It began innocently enough. The festival's red carpet had already hosted countless stars, each making their grand entrance under the glittering lights. When Yaman appeared, dressed in an impeccably tailored tuxedo that highlighted his commanding presence, the crowd erupted in cheers. Fans from all over Europe, especially Italy, France, and Turkey, had gathered just to see him walk. Reporters shouted his name, flashes went off like fireworks, and for a brief moment, he seemed untouchable, the very image of international stardom. He smiled, waved, and even paused to greet some of his most loyal fans, who had been waiting for hours behind the barriers. Everything was unfolding as planned, until she arrived. His ex-girlfriend, a woman who once shared his most private moments, stepped onto the same red carpet. The audience may have seen her as just another glamorous guest, but for Cannes, it was a collision with his past. Their relationship had once been a subject of endless speculation in the tabloids, dissected by fans and critics alike. For months after their breakup, rumors swirled about what had truly happened between them. Some claimed it was the pressure of fame, others whispered about jealousy or conflicting ambitions. Cannes himself never spoke publicly in detail, choosing instead to let time silence the gossip. But now, in Cannes, time no longer stood between them. Witnesses reported that the moment their eyes met, the atmosphere changed. Cannes, usually so composed on red carpets, froze for a split second. His smile faded, and his jaw clenched visibly under the glare of the cameras. She, equally taken aback, hesitated before continuing her walk, but her poise betrayed the tremor of tension that hung between them. Fans watching live streams online immediately noticed the exchange, flooding social media with comments like, "Did you see Cannes' face? And that's his ex. This is unreal." Within minutes, hashtags began trending, turning a private moment into an international spectacle. As fate would have it, the festival organizers had unknowingly arranged for the two to attend the same gala dinner that evening. The luxurious ballroom, filled with chandeliers and champagne, became the battleground for emotions that had been buried but not forgotten. Seated just a few tables apart, Cannes tried to maintain his composure, engaging in polite conversation with directors and producers. Yet, every so often, his eyes wandered in her direction, and when their gazes locked, the intensity was undeniable. The whispers around the room grew louder, with attendees sensing that something dramatic was about to unfold. The confrontation itself was described as explosive, though not in the physical sense. According to insiders, Cannes eventually rose from his seat and approached her table. The room fell into an uneasy silence as people subtly turned to watch. What began as polite greetings quickly escalated into a heated exchange. Though the words were spoken softly enough not to reach every ear, the body language told the entire story. Cannes' hands gestured emphatically, his face etched with frustration, while she responded with equal intensity, her expression mixing defiance and hurt. For a man known for his fiery temper, keeping his voice low was already a sign of struggle. Those closest swore they heard fragments, questions like "why now?" and "after everything we went through," that hinted at a wound still raw. Demet Özdemir's name inevitably surfaced in fan discussions, even though she was not present at Cannes. Fans speculated whether Cannes' unresolved history with Demet had influenced his past relationships and whether seeing his ex triggered memories of his most famous love story, both on and off screen. The comparisons, the theories, and the fan-made edits flooded platforms like Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, ensuring that the showdown at Cannes was not just gossip, it became part of the ongoing saga of Yaman's personal life. What made this confrontation so shocking was not merely that it happened, but that it happened on such a grand stage. Cannes is the ultimate platform for image-making, a place where reputations are polished and crafted. For Cannes, whose international career depends heavily on his charisma and professionalism, this was a moment that risked shattering the carefully built aura around him. Yet, paradoxically, it also made him more human. Fans who saw the footage described feeling torn, some expressed disappointment, worrying that he let emotions cloud his judgment, while others sympathized deeply, saying it proved his passion, his authenticity, and the depth of his feelings. The aftermath was immediate and dramatic. Headlines across Europe screamed variations of the story: Yaman's confrontation shocks guests, unexpected showdown turns festival into drama, and stars past returns on the red carpet. Television programs replayed the footage endlessly, analyzing every gesture, every glance. Body language experts were invited to give their professional opinions on what really happened between the two. Social media became a battlefield, with fans defending Cannes, criticizing his ex, or speculating about who was truly at fault in their past relationship. Some even theorized that the encounter was staged to generate publicity, though those who witnessed the rawness of their emotions dismissed such claims. For Cannes himself, the days following the incident were a test of resilience. He continued to attend scheduled events at Cannes, maintaining his professionalism as best he could. Yet the questions never stopped. Every journalist wanted to know about the confrontation, every interviewer tried to probe his feelings. True to form, Cannes gave minimal answers, deflecting whenever possible, but his silence only added fuel to the fire. Fans scrutinized his expressions, his tone, even the way he walked, searching for clues about what was truly going on in his heart. Behind the scenes, close friends reportedly rallied around him, offering support. Those who know him best described him as deeply affected, though determined not to let it derail his work. The actor has always been known for his intensity, whether in love, in his roles, or in his ambitions. To see that intensity spill over at Cannes was a reminder that no matter how famous or successful he becomes, he is still a man carrying the weight of past loves and unresolved emotions. For his ex-girlfriend, the encounter was equally significant. Though less is known about her side of the story, sources suggest she too was shaken by the confrontation. She left the gala earlier than expected, avoiding the press and choosing silence in the days that followed. Her absence from public statements only deepened the mystery, leaving fans to fill in the gaps with their own narratives. Some saw her as a victim of Cannes' fiery temper, while others argued she had provoked him by appearing at such a high-profile event. Regardless of perspective, her role in the drama ensured that she, too, became a trending name across Europe. What cannot be denied is that the showdown at Cannes reignited interest in Yaman's personal life just as much as his professional career. It reminded the world why he has remained such a magnetic figure. His life, much like the dramas he stars in, is filled with passion, tension, and unexpected twists. For fans of Turkish series, the incident was yet another chapter in a saga that has stretched far beyond the screen. For the entertainment industry, it was proof that even in the age of carefully curated public images, raw emotion still has the power to captivate the world. As the dust begins to settle, the lasting impact of this encounter remains to be seen. Will it change Cannes' approach to public appearances? Will it push him to address his past more openly, or will he retreat further into privacy? For now, what everyone knows is that Cannes 2025 will be remembered not only for the films it showcased but for the night when Yaman confronted his past in front of the world. The chaos that broke out was not the scripted drama of a television series but the real-life turbulence of a man still wrestling with love, loss, and the ghosts of what once was. And perhaps that is why fans cannot stop talking about it. Because in that moment, beneath the lights of Cannes, Yaman was not just a star, he was human, vulnerable, and unforgettable.